Hi there, on the screencast I'm going to show you how to make a scrolling continuous background. So when you want to do this, the trick is to have a mirror image of your the file or image file that you're using for your background. So mine is called BK Swamp, and I'm going to open that into paint.net, or you can pretty much use any other graphics editor that you want. So let me find it. So I think it's under, let's see, Roxbury 1516, Intro to Computer Science, Screencasts, XNA Sample Game, and Screencast Game. And then Screencast Game Content, and there it is. So I'm going to open it bk_swamp into paint.net, and I'm going to do a reflection of it. So if I do, I think it is, let's see, image, it's flip horizontal, and then I'm going to save that as a new image file, and it's going to be called BK Swamp 2. Then I'm going to go back, oops, I need to click OK again. Then I'm going to go back into Visual Studio, and I'm going to add that to my content folder. So I go to Add Existing Item, and then I find BK Swamp 2. All right, and now, of course, I'm going to have to add a rectangle and a texture 2D variable for it. So I'm going to I'm going to go up to where variables are defined, and I'm going to declare background rec 2, and for under textures I'm going to declare background texture 2. And now I'm going to go down and create the rectangle for the other background image. So I'm going to say background rec 2 equals new rectangle, and now what you want to do is you want to position that new rectangle just off the screen on the right edge of the screen. So since the original rectangle goes right to the edge of the right side of the screen, you're essentially positioning the second one right beside it. So I need to do screen width as the x-coordinate. Once again, it's going to be at 0 for its y-coordinate, and then it's going to be the exact same size as the other rectangle. So it's going to be screen width and screen height. All right, and now I'm going to go down and load the image. So here's where I have, let me find where I load the background image. I think it's down here. Yes. So I'm going to say background texture 2 equals this dot content dot load texture 2D, and then BK underscore swamp 2. All right. So now, down in the update method, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the texture across the screen when the game is running. So I'm going to, let's see, here where I move the rectangles for the monster, I'm going to say, okay, background, I'm going to move rec dot x minus equals 5, and I'm going to say background rec 2 dot x minus equals 5. And now let me see why it's not liking this. Okay, it is. All right, now here's the key thing. Oops. What you want to do is say, okay, well, when the first rectangle goes completely off the screen, I'm going to reposition it on the right edge of the screen. And then when the second one goes completely off the screen, I'm going to reposition it on the right end of the screen. So I'm going to need two if statements. So I'm going to say if background rec.x less than equal to 0, what do I want to do? Well, let's say less than equal to 5. Let's try 5 first. Well, actually, no. Less than equal to negative screen width. Because coordinates actually go negative when you go off the screen. Then what do I want to do? I want to say background rec.x equals background 2.x plus screen width. So essentially, I'm changing his coordinates so that he's repositioning him at the very end of the other one. And now I'm going to do the same thing for the other rectangle. So when he goes off the screen completely, I do the same thing. I position him at the end of the other rectangle. Okay, so hopefully this is going to work. So let's give it a shot, see what happens. Oh, I forgot to draw the rectangle, the other one. So I need to go down to draw both of the rectangles. Background texture 2, background rec 2, and color dot white. Alright, so let's see. Hopefully it's going to work this time. Alright, so there you go. You have a completely continuously scrolling background. Now if you look carefully, you can tell where the mirror image of the first image starts taking place. Of course, it's right where that tree is, right there. But fortunately, if you pick an image where the mirror image of it connected to the original one kind of makes sense or kind of looks convincing just by the way things are laid out, you can get a pretty good scrolling background that is pretty believable. All right, that's a fun effect that you can add to your game. So hopefully some of you will do that.